Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the DaVinci Resolve tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 7, where we'll be understanding about the timeline. Okay, so we'll be learning how the timeline basically works, what are the things that you need to keep in mind while working on the timeline, what are the tools available over here. So we'll be learning all of these over here into this particular chapter. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So over here, as you guys can see, now I'm here again in the workspace of the DaVinci. And from here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right over here and I'm going to import some medias over here. Okay. So here specifically, we are going to talk about how you will be able to work in this particular timeline. And if you don't know which one is basically the timeline, here you guys can see this is known as V1, A1, A2. Okay, this particular space over here with this timing on top, this is basically known as the timeline. Okay, so before starting, let's come here. Let's just import new clips. Okay, if you do want to do that, let's go to my media file. And from here, again, what I'll do is I will just go to my resource file. Let's go to images. And from here, let's import these other medias as well, using which I can work on. Okay, so I will just come here. I will just take out these images and let's go back. And if you do want to take some other videos, you guys can come here and you guys can take these other videos as well. Okay, so let's come here. Let's bring out all these videos. So here, once you have imported this file, you need to go back again to your edit page. Okay, so once you're over here into your edit page, let's come here. Let's import some videos here into our timeline. Okay, so for that, let's see, I will just take out this video. Let's double click and I already do have a mark in and the mark out point. Let's increase the timing of this particular video. And what you're going to do is drag and drop it right over here onto your timeline. Okay, so over here, as you guys can see, that this is basically known as the timeline. So to get you guys familiar, here you guys can see this is the video track over here. Okay, simply you guys can come here and you guys can actually bring on more footage over here at once. Okay, and this is basically known as the playhead. Okay, so if you do want to make any major changes over here, let's say if you do want to put up any kind of cut, or if you want to navigate throughout the timeline, okay, you guys can come here and you guys can do that. Okay, and you guys can actually have multiple layers of videos stacked up one onto another. Okay, and also you guys will be able to have multiple audio files as well. Okay, so you guys will be able to have multiple audio files over here. So now let's try to understand this V1, A1. Okay, so V1 is known as video footage 1. Okay, and you guys can actually have multiple tracks. Okay, so there are different ways. If you do want to change up the name as well, you guys can come here and you guys can actually give up a different name. Okay, so here if you double click, you guys can see that you do have this particular icon. You guys can just click on backspace and you guys can just name this one according to yourself as well. Let's name this one as V1 and let's come here. Let's name this one as V2. Okay, so I will name this one as V2. And here you guys can see these audio files are now named as V1 and V2 over here. Okay, so here you guys can see that this is the video footage. You guys can see the total duration. If you want to navigate throughout, let's say you do have multiple footages in one single track. In that case, let's come here. Let's just put up this one right over here as well. And now, as you guys can see, if you just scroll this thing down, you guys can just go onto the sides as well. Okay, so this is the slider which you guys can use, and also you guys can have multiple footages here onto the same line. Okay, so as you guys can see, and also if you do want to move out at once, you guys can come here and move it onto the left side as well. And over here on top, as you guys can see, that you do have this extra video track as well. Okay, so if you do want to delete those things, you guys can come here and you guys can basically delete that as well. Okay, so if you come here, if you just right click here, you guys can see you do have the delete track option. If you do want to delete only this particular track, you guys can click on delete track. And if you want to delete all the tracks which don't have any content inside them, you guys can click on delete empty tracks. What it will do is, in my audio too as well, they don't have any tracks or they don't have any content, so it will delete that particular track as well. So here you guys can see both of the track has been deleted. And now if I just click on Control Z, and now let's say I will come here, right click on my mouse, and if I just click on delete track, you guys can see only the V2 track is being deleted, okay, not the A2, which is the audio 2 track. Okay, so if I do want to delete it, I will come here, right click, and I will just click on delete track. Okay, so here this is how you guys can actually delete track quite like this. Okay, so now this was about it. And now let's try to understand, if you come here, if you do want to zoom inside your timeline, you guys can actually zoom inside your timeline as well. Let's move my playhead. And what I want to do is, at this particular point, I want to work. Okay, so at this particular point, I want to basically work over here in detail. So for that, if I do want to zoom in to this particular point exactly, here I can just click on Control or Command Z from my keyboard. If you're using a Mac, in that case, you need to click on Command Z from your keyboard. But if you're using a Windows, in that case, it's Control plus or Control minus. Okay, so if I just click on Control plus, here you guys can see towards this particular point, I am able to zoom in. Okay, where my playhead is, I can come here, and if I do want to put out any cut or if I do want to make any changes, I can come here and I can make any changes. And the same way, if you want to come here and if you want to zoom in or zoom out manually, you guys can come here and you guys can just click onto this minus sign over here, and eventually it will just zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so using plus, you guys can just zoom in, and using minus, you guys can zoom out. But for me, I love to use the control plus and minus. Okay, and I will recommend that if you're working on video editing on a full term basis, then you should have a mouse which you will be able to navigate on the sides as well. Okay, so for my one, I do have this where I can just roll in and roll out, but I don't have the mouse where I can move sideways as well. So I'll recommend to you that if you're working with video editing, okay, video editing softwares, you're working on a regular basis, you should have that kind of mouse which moves sideways as well. Okay, so it is quite beneficial. So that was about moving in and out. And let's say I do have zoomed in a lot. Okay, so I have zoomed in a lot, and now I am not able to see all the content which I have over here into my timeline. So if I do want to make any changes, let's say I want to make any changes right over here. Okay, so in that case, now I do have to slide this thing and go to that particular part. So now if I do want to see my timeline directly over here in the place which I have, let's just close my media pool over here, and I want to view the whole content which I have over here in my timeline in my frame. So in that case, here you guys can see you do have this particular option known as the full extent zoom. You guys can come here, and if you click here once, you guys can see that you are able to see all the contents which you have put over here in one single line. Okay, so this is about the fit to zoom in the timeline. Okay, so full extent zoom, also you guys can call it as the full extent zoom. And here you guys can see this is the detail zoom. Okay, so let's come here, let's come and let's just go back. Let's come here, let's place this one, and let's say what I want to do is I want to zoom into this particular area. Okay, so in that case, now if I come here and if I click on detail zoom, you guys can see now I am able to zoom into this particular part. Okay, so over here you guys can basically zoom this thing out. And again, if I come here, let's go back, if I come to this particular place, and if I want to customize zoom, I can come here and I can just customize zoom into this particular place. Let's say I want to add on some markers, I want to put on some effects over here. I can do that all over here itself. Okay. So this was about zooming in, and here fitting into the timeline. It is about the detail zoom. Here you do have the customized zoom option. Okay, so I hope you guys do have understood this particular part. Let's go back again over here as I'm able to view all the videos which I have imported over here. Now let's come here and let's try to understand all of these other options over here. Okay, so now, let's say you have this particular track. Okay. So now in this particular track, what you're going to do is you want to make sure that, okay, so I do have this final file and I don't want to move it. Sometimes what happens is by mistakenly, what we do is we tend to move our videos sideways or on top, and it actually messed up the whole thing or the whole effort which we put. Okay, so in that case, let's say I want to just I want to just log this whole track down. Okay, I don't want to move this at all, as this is the final file for me. So in that particular case, what you guys can basically do is you guys can come here, maybe select this particular track and make sure to log the track. Okay, so as you guys can see, now I am able to log this track. And now if I'm trying to move this thing out, you guys can see the things or the videos which I have here in my video track 1, I am not able to move that thing out. Okay, so I will just place it over here back again. Then now if I come here and if I unlock the track, and now if I do want to move it over here on top or in sides, I can come here and I can just move those things accordingly. Okay, so this one was about locking the track. And here under this video one, you guys can see, let's come here. Let's just delete this audio track as well. I will just delete all the tracks over here. And also here in my video track, as you guys can see, it is actually surrounded with a red mark. Okay, so that means that this is the default track. Okay, so this one track is basically the default track. And also if you come here, if you just click on auto track selector, it will basically track this particular track over here. It will select. Okay, then also if you want to disable, like you don't want to view this track, let's say you do have other icons on top, let's come here, you do have this particular video on top. Okay, so I will just place this particular video over here on top. So in that case, now what you're going to do is I will come here, let's increase the size, and I don't want to see this particular video. Okay, so let's come here, and if I just disable the video track, and let's move my playhead, you guys can see now if I play, I am only able to see the content which I have inside my video too, but I'm able to hear the audio which I had here in this particular video. So here I didn't mute it, or I didn't put on solo track, or I didn't log this one. That's why I am able to view only the track on top of this one. Okay, so this is about how you will be able to enable and disable the video track. Let's come here, let's delete this part as well. So this was about locking the track, this was about auto track selector, and this one is the disable video tracking. Okay, so this is right over here. And now if I just come here, let's say I will just go back. Okay, Control Z to go back. Let's select this one, let's delete this particular part as well. Okay, I will come here, I will delete this track as well, and I will just enable this one. Let's select both of this, let's bring it right over here, okay, at the starting. And now what I can do is if I come here and let's say I will go to my audios, and from here now I want to place an audio right over here into this particular place. Let's trim it down. And now again, what I can do is once I have trimmed this particular thing down, if I just play it, here you guys can hear that I do have the audio. Okay, so now let's pause this thing down, and let's say now here listen to this audio quite carefully. Okay, So now here you guys can see this is the audio. And let's say I do have multiple audio tracks. Okay, so there are different ways of how you will be able to add multiple audio tracks. So you guys can come here onto this particular option or just right click and click on add tracks. Okay, so they'll ask you like, do you want to add a mono track, a stereo, or 5.1? Here are different options. And if you click on add tracks, they'll be asking you that how many tracks do you want, okay, and how many video tracks you want. So let's say I want 2 video tracks, and where do you want to position them? Okay, do you want to position them above video number 2, or do you want to do it above video number 1, or you want to put it below the first track? Okay, so there are different options over here, and the more track you have, the more options you will have over here as well. Okay, and the same way here also they'll be asking you that how many number of audio tracks do you want? How many audios do you have over here? How many tracks do you want for that? And also they'll be asking you what is the point you want to insert them. Do you want to insert them above the first track, like you want to insert them just underneath the V1, or do you want to put this one below the audio one, which is here in this particular place? So for now, I will just cancel this thing. And the other way of inserting is you just need to come here and you just need to select and maybe drag and drop over here. And this is how you guys can basically work. Let's trim this thing down over here. And now, as you guys can see, I do have 2 different audio tracks. Okay, so now if I just play this thing using my space bar, so both of these audios are being played at the same time. And let's say now what I want to do is I want to come here and I want to mute this audio track 1. Okay, so I can come here and now if I play this, you guys can hear only the track number 2. Okay, so over here now you are only able to hear this audio track number 2. Okay, so now if I unmute this again, and just beside the mute option, you do have this solo option. Let's come here, and what you guys can do is let's add another track. Okay, so I will come here, I will just trim this thing down as well. Let's come here, let's trim this thing down. And once I do have trimmed this, let's increase the size over here a little bit as well. Let's come here, let's place it quite like this. And what you guys can do is, let's say I do have these 3 audios, okay? And out of these 3 audios, I only want to play a single audio. So in that case, if you mute, let's say you do have 10 audios and there, now you have to come there and individually turn off the 9 audios which you don't want. So you don't have to do that much hassle. Okay. In that case, what you can do is you guys can come here, select the track which you want or the audio which you want to select. And what you can do is if you just click on S, okay, only that solo track will be played and all the other audios will get muted by itself. Okay, doesn't matter how many audios you do have. So now if you just play this thing around, you will only be able to hear this single track which you have turned on the solo. Okay, so this was about solo and the mute track option. And the same way, if you do want to lock it, now you won't be able to move this thing particular track over here. Let's turn off the solo over here, and you guys can basically log this thing out. Okay, so this is how you guys can work right over here. Okay, so now let's come here and let's try to understand that how you will be able to manage the track height, how you'll be able to manage the track waveforms. Okay, so for that, the simplest way, if you do want to increase the size of the track from your timeline itself, you guys can just come here and hover between the lines. Okay, so over here you guys can see as I do have this track number 1. Okay, so if I do want to increase the size, I can come here and here you guys can see I am having a big preview of this particular clip. Okay, and also here it shows that in my video track 1 I do have 2 clips. Okay, so let's come here, let's turn this on back. And here, this is the track 1 and this is the track number 2. And the same way you guys can come here and you guys can actually increase the waveform as well. As you guys can see over here, And here it shows that in my audio one track, I only have one single clip. Okay, so it actually gives you an idea what you need to do if you have multiple clips. Let's say you know that you have 5 clips, but here it shows that you only have 4. So that means that you might have forgotten to put one track over here, or one kind of content, or one video, or one audio. So you guys do have a chance to recheck. Okay, so this is quite an interesting feature. Okay, so now let's come here and let's see if you want to do it from the bar as well. Okay, so let's come here. You guys can increase and decrease the size accordingly. So for that, what you need to do is you need to come here, and there is one option over here on top known as the timeline view options. So if you just click on the timeline view options, there are multiple options. Okay, so here if you want to click on stack timelines, here you guys can see the timeline over here is being stacked. Okay, so if you come here, you guys can see the stack timeline, and if you just close this down, here you guys can see the options, and over here you do have the subtitle tracks. Let's say if you do have any subtitle tracks, you guys can actually use this particular option. And lastly, you do have the audio waveforms. Okay, let's say you don't want to see any audio waveforms into your audio, you guys can come here and you guys can just turn it off. And if you do want to see the audio waveforms again, you guys can come here and you guys can turn on the audio waveforms. Well, especially once you are working with the audio for your video, you need to make sure that your audio waveforms are on, because it basically helps you to understand the pattern of audio or the pattern of the music. Okay, so this was about these audio waveforms. And if you come here, if you just turn it on, you guys can see I do have this stacked up on each other. So I will just turn it back on again, and it is looking great. And here you guys can see now you do have the video view options. Okay, so for now this one is turned off, where I am able to see the whole preview of the video or the content present over here on my track. Okay, so this is the first option which is turned on by default. But now if I come here and let's say I want to actually view it as a thumbnail. Okay, so I don't want to see the whole content which is going on. I want to only see the thumbnail. So in that case, if I come here and now if I turn it on, you guys can see the first frame of the video and the last frame of the video is being showed over here into my timeline. Okay, so I'm not able to now see the whole thing or the whole preview of my video, but I'm able to see the first and the last frame of the video which I have imported. And the same goes with this particular track as well. So these were the video options. And now from here, if you do want to have a simple view, you don't want to see the thumbnail, you don't want to see the preview of the whole video, you need to make sure that you turn on the simple view option. But for me, I would love to see the whole thing. Okay, so I will just click on the film strip view, and now again you guys can see I am able to see the preview over here in my timeline. Okay, so this was about that. And now let's come over here and now let's see about the audio view options. So on the audio view options, as you guys can see, now I do have the non-rectified waveform. Okay, so if you don't want this particular waveform, you guys can come here and you guys can click on full waveform, and you guys can see the waveform over here into the timeline. The view has basically changed. Okay, so it totally depends up to you in which waveform you do love to work on your audios. Okay, so you guys can come here and turn that on and off again. So if you come here and you do have understood this particular part, lastly comes the waveform border. Okay, so if you come here, if you just turn on to this waveform border, you guys can also work with the waveform border as well. So I will just turn this turn off again. Let's come here, let's turn this on, and here this is how you will be able to see all of these waveforms. Okay, and also let's say I will just select this particular audio track, and now what I want to do is I want to go into my timeline view options, and I want to actually increase all the audio track sizes at once. Okay, so all the audio tracks which I have over here in my timeline, I want to increase all of their sizes at once. So in that case, you guys can come here, click on the audio tracks, and here you guys can see I do have increased the size of the audio tracks of all of it altogether. And the same way, if you want to increase or decrease the size of the video track, I can come here, I can just increase or decrease the size accordingly. Okay, so this was about the timeline view options. And once you're done, you guys can just click outside anywhere, and it will show you quite the options over here. Okay, so this is about that. And now let's come here, let's select all these things, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of these things out. Okay, so I will come here, I will just delete all these things out. And let's say what you want to do is you want to come here, let's just increase or decrease the size eventually. And for that, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import some videos. Okay, so again, for importing some videos, what I want to do is if you want to create any kind of videos in which I will have a PNG image, and on top of that I will have a video which will be played. Okay, so for that, again, I will go to my images. Let's take this video or this particular thing right over here, and you guys can see this is just a normal image. Okay, and the total duration of that one is 4 second and 29 frame, which will be there by default. Okay, so here you guys can see this is just a normal uh, image. Okay, so if I play this one here, you guys won't be able to see any changes. Okay, so this is just an image itself. So what I want to do is I want to put up a video just over here on top of this particular place, which will show that okay, a video is being played on this particular board. Okay, so for that, again, what I'll do is I will just go to videos. Let's come here, let's import this video, and what I'm going to do is I am going to put this one in the video track 2. Okay, so I will come here, I will just tag this one up into the video 2 option. Let's bring it right over here, and I will just increase the size from here as well. Let's go to the timeline view options, and I will just decrease the video track size. Okay, so I will come here, I will just decrease the video track size over here. But now what happens is I am not able to view this particular image which I do have underneath this video. So for that, I will just select this video track, and from here I will go into my inspector panel. Okay, so for now you don't have to think much. And now before that, let's come here, let's have a single view, and now let's go to the inspector panel. And what I'm going to do is I am going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I will just zoom out a little bit quite over here. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to just increase the width and the height individually. So let's turn off the link option. And now I will just increase the size quite over here. So I will come here, and also if you do want to make any changes onto the sides over here, if you just double click. Okay, if you do want to transform, you guys can go to the transform option again. And if you do want to crop, you guys can come here, and you guys can basically crop eventually. Okay, so let's come here, let's move this one a little bit, and also I will try to move this one a little bit as well. And once you're done, you guys can come here, and let's say if I just play this thing down, let's click onto my spacebar over here. Let's just play this thing, and here it shows that this video is being played onto that particular board. And the same way, if you do want to stack it up onto one another, let's come here, let's just decrease the size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up a logo. So I will go to the image option again, and from here I will just stack up this logo on top. Okay, so I will just come here, stack out this particular logo. Let's decrease the size over here. And now I am going to zoom out this one as well. Okay, so now let's decrease the size. Okay, so I will just decrease the size, and now I am going to move out its position. Okay, so let's come here, and what you guys can do is you guys can basically decrease the size a little bit as well. Let's come here, let's go to transform option. And what you guys can do is if you do want to decrease the size, make sure to decrease size and place it the place wherever you want. Okay, so once you're done, let's come here, let's just play the thing up, and this is how it will be played. Okay, so this is the final result of my video as it is being played over here into my particular frame. Okay, so this is how you guys can actually work. And here you guys can see you guys can increase or decrease the size accordingly right over here. Okay, and we will be understanding about the inspector panel in detail once we talk in detail about that. And now let's say over here, if I do have another video, let's come here, let's go to the videos option. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take out this particular video as well. Okay, so I will just come here, I will just take out my video right over here. Let's just trim it down a bit. Okay, so once I'm trimming down here, you guys can see I do have trimmed down my video. Let's bring my playhead over here as well. And now what I'm going to do is I want to come over here, and now let me show you guys about all of these three options. Okay, so now as you guys can see, I do have a particular gap between both of this footage. Okay, so now if I want to come here, and here you guys can see it will just show me a black screen. Okay, and once I'm trying to move in my video footage with the other footage, you guys can see that it is kind of snapping over here. You guys can see automatically it is just moving and joining it with the other footage which I have into that particular track. Okay, so here you guys can see there is a small triangle sign. It means that both of the footage, they don't have any gap between them. Okay, so now here you guys can see the triangle over here. But now the same way, if I come here and now if I just turn off this particular option known as snapping, and the shortcut key for that is N from your keyboard, let's turn it off. And now if I'm trying to move it out, you guys can see I am not able to snap these things out. Okay, so here I am not able to snap this thing out properly. So there is a chance that I might have some problem and it might overwrite the content which I already have. Okay, so that thing I don't want over here. But the same way, if you come here and let's say now I do have this particular video and I will just turn on the snapping back on, and here you guys can see it is snapping quite easily. So now let's come here and let's just move my playhead right over here, and let's take an audio with let's take a video with audio itself. Okay, so here if you come here and now let's just move this one over here on top. And what you're going to do is you are going to go to the timeline options. Let's decrease the audio track option right over here as well. Okay, so now here you guys are able to see that I do have this video and the audio track over here. So now what happens is if I come here, if I select this video, my audio is being selected as well. So individually, I am not able to work with that. So if I want to do that, what I need to do is I need to come here and I need to turn off the linked selection option. So if I just turn it back off again, and now individually I am able to select the audio layer, and individually I am able to select the video layer as well. And let's say the audio layer, I want to come here and I want to just delete this audio layer. Okay, you guys can come here and you guys can basically cut the audio layer, and basically you guys will be able to change the audio from here itself. Okay, so this was about link selection. And let's say you do have a lot of layers over here, and if you want to lock all of this layer individually one by one, it will take a lot of time. So once you're done with your work, you want to have multiple layers, okay? And you want to lock all the layers all together. You guys can come here and you guys can basically click onto this lock option, and all these things will be locked all together. Okay, so this was about locking all the tracks all together. And now I will again turn it off, and all of this lock thing is being unlocked again. Okay, so this is about that. Let's come here, let's just delete this particular part. And now let's come here, let's just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so from here, now what you're going to do is you're going to come here. Let's say I will just delete this part. Let's right click, let's click on cut, and I do have cut this particular part as well. Let's come here, let's delete that one as well from here. Now let's say if I come here and if I put this video on top of this one, let's say I will come here, I will just place it on top. Okay, let's come here, let's place this track on top of this one. Now you guys can see that I'm not able to see the image which I do have underneath. Okay, because it is about layering. If you do have used any other graphic designing software like Illustrator or Photoshop, the way the layer works, it also works the same way over here in DaVinci as well, or any other video editing software. So let's bring it down over here again. Okay, so I will just bring it down, and again you are able to see it right over here. So if you come here, if you just move in, you guys can see you are able to move in as well. And now here the selection tool, if you come here and you guys can actually work this throughout. Okay, so if you do want to zoom in, zoom out, you guys can zoom in and zoom out accordingly. So now let's deselect this particular part. And if you do want to add more timeline into your project, you guys can click on this plus icon, and here you guys can actually name this particular timeline as well. Okay, you guys can add more videos. If you do have more other content, you guys can also come here and do that. So let's come here and I will just delete this one. For now, I will just delete this particular timeline which I had created. And what I'm going to do now is I will come here and I'll show you guys the usage of these flags and the markers. And now to any add the track, let's say I will come here and I want to basically add some kind of flags, okay, over here. So in that case, I will come here, I will just click onto this flag option, and a flag will be added over here directly. Okay, so here you guys can see a flag has been added. If you want to add another flag to this particular footage as well, so let's click onto flag, and the other flag is being added as well. So if you double click, if you want to put out any note, okay, so here you guys can come here and put out any note as well. Okay, so now let's say I will just put up a note as crop this layer. Okay, so I will come here, and if I just click on done, here you guys can see that thing or the icon over here have changed. Okay, so that means that I do have any kind of note over here. So what happens is if I come here into my flag and if I double click, you guys can see what is the note I have over here. And if I do want to change the color, I can come here, I can basically change the color, click on done, and it is being changed. Okay, so this is to mark any kind of layers or any kind of tracks individually. But for the marker, let's say I will come here and now I will select this particular layer. I want to give out a mark. Okay, so for that I want to put on some effect, or let's say I will just come to this video itself and I want to put on some effects over here into this particular point. Okay, so I will come here, and what I can do is I can just select what color marker do I want to put. Okay, so if I come here, let's say I will select the sky color. Okay, and now I do have put out a marker. Okay, and also if you come here and if you just double click on your marker, you guys can basically name the marker. You guys can see what is the timing, and also if you want to select any keyword for that, you guys can come here and you guys can actually select the keyword over here as well. Okay, so you guys can see there are different suggested keywords over here. So for now, I will just delete this one. And now if you do want to add out any notes, let's say put on slow mo effect. Okay, so if I want to put on some slow mo effect later, I will come here and I will just click on done and here into this marker. So once I hover my mouse over the marker, you guys can see the name of the marker and the message which I have selected before. Okay, so this is how you guys can actually work on with the marker. And the same way, if you come here in this particular panel, you guys can see that you have to put on this particular timing onto this marker, and I do have the detail as well. Okay, so I hope you guys do have understood about how the timeline works and what all you will be able to do here in the timeline. As I have told you that most of the time you guys will be spending over here. Okay, so once you are done with this particular thing, if you come here, if you do want to save this file, you guys can go to this particular uh, project. Okay, save project as. Let's come here. I will come and creating a new project. I want to save this project. Let's come here and I will just click on overwrite, and this particular project will basically get saved. And the same way, let's go to file, and if I click on save project, it is being saved again. So if I do make any changes, I can come here and I can just save the project setting, and also I will be able to change all the project manager as well. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys do have understood this class on how to work with the timeline in DaVinci. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we'll be learning more about DaVinci itself. So see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.